Today I want to talk a little bit about the precepts, and it's something I've been thinking about quite a bit since the course we had recently, um, and I entitled this talk "Understanding the Mindset That the Precepts Are Trying to Guide Us Towards." So that course helped me a lot with understanding the precepts, but also the reading origin stories. I read them quite a while ago too, when I first became fully ordained, which was about 8 years ago. And so I realized that I'm looking at them with quite a different mind than I was back then. So they go in a lot deeper. And I'm seeing more and more how these precepts are meant to guide us, not only in our actions, but in our understanding of what it means to be a monastic. They guide our actions until our understanding is mature enough to the point where we know not to do such things that are prohibited by the precepts. We are being guided in our actions of body, speech, and mind so that our understanding of this will grow. And this is not just the case for monastics, because the lay people hold 5 precepts, or some of them that don't hold precepts, they are following the guidance of abandoning the 10 non-virtues. And this is a guidance. In the case of the lay precepts, one is guided in the understanding of what it means to be a lay practitioner practicing the Dharma. And likewise with the Bodhisattva precepts, one is guided in what it means to practice kind and proper behavior of a Bodhisattva. In the monastic Pasada, it says, "Guard your speech well, purify your mind, and avoid all negativities of the body, so that the actions of your 3 doors are pure. Being able to do all this is the path of the great sage. This is the Vinaya of the Tathagata Shakyamuni, the Arhat, the fully awakened one, taught to the undefiled Sangha during the first 12 years. Only after that did he elaborate on it." I find that amazing that that was the guidance for 12 years. People lived without the precepts. The monastics in the early Sangha had an understanding that didn't require precepts. And this indicates that holding precepts is not the core of what it means to be a monastic, but that precepts are needed by most of us to understand what it means to be a monastic and what it means to live like a monastic. And as Buddhists, holding the 5 lay precepts is something it's basic, and so I'm going to use it as an example. If I find that I want to harm another being, even kill them, or I am seriously tempted to take something that's not freely offered, or I want to satisfy a desire or lust, even if it's dangerous or unwise or harmful for myself or others, if I want to speak falsely or harshly, hurtfully, or if I want to get intoxicated and relinquish the control of my faculties to alcohol or drugs, then these 5 precepts tell me something is wrong with the way I'm thinking, wrong with my understanding, and warn me not to act on that wrong understanding and that wrong thinking. With the monastic precept origin stories, I'm often just dumbfounded at what people did. I'm like, wow, didn't they know that was wrong? Didn't they know that's not proper behavior for a monastic? And actually the answer is no. They didn't understand proper behavior like the monastics of the first 12 years. And they needed precepts to guide them. They needed more guidance. And the Buddha laid down that precept to help guide them. And some of the individuals in those stories, they just kept up with behavior that required the laying down of another precept and another precept, kind of indicating, well, that maybe they weren't getting it that they weren't getting the idea. They weren't understanding good behavior other than not to break the rules. And that's really not how we want to look at our precepts. We want to look at them as guidance to help us understand where we want to go. I often use the idea of guardrails. You know, guardrails that keep you going that way, and you hit up against a guardrail, it's protecting you, you know. And you want to learn to go down the middle of the road and not be hanging off the guardrails. So you want to develop that understanding. And I saw a junior do something recently around here that it was a small thing and it doesn't transgress a precept. But I remember thinking, wow, that person does not understand good comportment. And 6 or 7 years ago, I might have done the same thing or something similar. And of course, I still have many blind spots. My understanding and my behavior. We're learning and living in the precepts and learning. And if you come up against a precept and you are really having trouble with it, resistance to it, try getting a better understanding of it. And try to understand what's going on in your mind. What is the resistance about? What is it you think that you want that the precept's going to interfere with? What affliction is there? Is it just a lack of understanding of what the precept is getting at? Or is there a more general lack of understanding about where the Buddha is trying to lead us? What is the direction he's trying to lead us to? And are we grasping at a self that's just not in line with the teachings? Or is it maybe a lack of appreciation for the precepts? The Pratimoksha Sutra says that precepts are like jewels that can be sought tirelessly. Jewels that can be sought tirelessly. So these are precious gifts from the Buddha. They're not shackles that we need to fight against. They're not unneeded restrictions that we need to push against or resent. And we can find joy in living in these precepts, joy in not harming others, joy in discarding hatred and attachment, joy in standing with our palms joined, waiting for our teacher when she's coming to an event, in proper comportment. And joy in learning and practicing proper comportment. And joy in following the Buddha's teachings for the benefit of all beings. And the monastic mind motivation that Venerable wrote, that she taught on during this last course, it really summarizes a lot of that basic thing of what it means to be a monastic if we look deeply into that. And it says in there that it benefits our Dharma practice, whether we are monastics or lay practitioners. So precepts aren't about, I can't do this and I can't do that. They're about guiding us in what we want to practice if we want to attain our spiritual goals, what we want to abandon if we want to attain our spiritual goals. And through our practice of countering afflictions and putting effort into cultivating virtuous qualities, we come to have some confidence and some trust in the teachings from our own experience, and trust in the precepts and in our spiritual mentors to guide us. Then we need to put aside the self-centered thought, especially the thought that says, don't tell me what to do. And that might not come up in those words, but that attitude can come up. And we need to put that aside and follow the good guidance that we were given by the teachings.